The Massacre at Ffirth Asylum. Amy was bouncing in her seat, muttering, "Come on, come on, come on." The gun cam was in the old cafeteria, trained on the door to the hallway. The other two guys, Flashlight Guy and Donnie, ran past. The camera swung around to find Donnie helping Flashlight climb up through the basement window. To Frito, Amy said, "They're almost out! Get ready!" It was taking forever. Flashlight Guy was stuck in the window for some reason, his legs kicking but not making any forward progress. Josh kept swinging his gun/camera back to the door to see if they were being pursued. Shrieking. Not screaming. This was the kind of noise babies make when they don't know how to put their pain into words. It was Flashlight Guy. His legs were thrashing in the window. Something had him from the other end. Josh and Donnie grabbed his legs, trying to pull him back into the classroom. They pulled and pulled, and whatever had Flashlight from the other end finally let go. Of his legs, anyway. Josh and Donnie found themselves on the floor of the classroom, with the lower half of Flashlight Guy twitching in their lap. Everything from the waist up was still laying in the basement window. If Josh and Donnie hadn't had earmuffs on, they could have heard Amy scream from the RV. Josh scrambled to his feet. He trained the gun cam on the window and the twitching and now silent pile of meat that was Flashlight's torso. It appeared that something was ripping away at his guts from the below, something coming out of the grass, like it had emerged from the earth itself and tore him in half. Josh shot at it, the Roman candle shells blowing Flashlight's guts apart and sending fire streaking into the night beyond the window. Amy flinched. She and Frito saw the glowing projectiles streak across the windshield from the side of the building. The view on the monitor was chaos. Donnie and Josh were arguing. Then Josh yelled, "The door! Watch the door!" And more shots were fired, sharp reports that echoed through the night air. Donnie screamed, until his screaming parts were ripped out of his throat. The gun cam raced toward the basement window, which was still blocked by the ravaged remains of Flashlight Guy. The view flew through the window, Josh tossing the gun through ahead of him, and it spun around in the grass until Amy found her video feed was showing the very RV where she was sitting in the distance, weeds partially obstructing the view. Through the camera's mic, Amy heard a sound like a sponge being run out in a sink full of water. Josh screamed, then he made a series of harsh grunts. The gun cam was still sitting motionless in the grass. Amy looked over the laptop at the building, then back down at the camera feed, back and forth, looking for something, anything. On the laptop, the camera view suddenly moved, being dragged backward through the weeds. The view spun around, Josh's face came into view, laying on the ground, blood pouring from his mouth. He was grabbing the gun by the barrel, pulling it toward him. He was doing something with his other hand, reaching around. His mouth was wide open, making choking noises. Something came up in his throat. His eyes got wide, and Amy had a split second to see a fist-sized wad of Josh's own intestines push out between his teeth before he pulled the trigger and blew his own head off. Amy jumped to her feet, the laptop clattering to the floor of the RV. She had her hand on her mouth. Frito had heard the shot. "What? What's happening?" "We have to go. Frito, we have to go. We have to go now. We have to go. We have to—" "What? What happened?" "Go, Frito! They're dead! They're all dead! Go, please!" "You don't know that! We don't leave men behind!" Frito threw the RV into gear and floored it. Instead of backing out onto the street, he plowed forward across the lawn and toward the building. Amy stumbled back up to the passenger seat. "What are you doing?" "Look, they're still alive! They're moving!" The RV skidded to a stop outside the basement window. On the ground in the shadows, something was in fact moving. "No, Frito, just go! We have to get out of here!" Frito yelled. "Josh, Donnie, answer if you're alive!" Someone was out there, between the RV and the wall, a lumpy, almost human figure. Frito peered out at it. Amy hissed, "Don't, Frito, don't! Back up, please! Back up the RV!" Frito reached inside his jacket and pulled out a serious-looking black handgun. He said, "Donnie?" No answer. Frito aimed the handgun at the figure, the glass of the driver's side door between him and his target. Amy could see Frito's face reflected in the glass. His eyes went wide. He had time to say, "Holy shit," before a series of things happened so quickly that Amy's mind couldn't register them all. While Frito had been focused on the figure out of the driver's side door, something smashed through the windshield to his right. Something, a long pink blur, whipped in through the glass, grabbed Frito's right bicep, and neatly severed it. The arm, with the hand at the end still clutching the pistol, was yanked through the windshield and out into the night. Before Frito could scream or even turn to see what had happened, the arm poked back through the broken windshield, now with the gun aimed at Frito. Frito's own hand, now being operated by whatever was outside the RV, squeezed the trigger. Frito's skull exploded. All of this occurred over the course of 2.5 seconds. To Amy, all she registered was the shattering of glass, a wet, meaty rip, and a gunshot. Then she was covered in bits of glass and droplets of warm blood. Frito slumped over, dead.